Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show and podcast. We are live Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, and my YouTube channel. And today we continue with part 2, Mastering Emotions, Mastering Life. The power of emotional intelligence. Are you ready to live an inspired and empowered life? So, we are going to be talking about how you can use the game changer emotional intelligence personally and professionally. You'll discover 3 core principles and more of emotional intelligence, and how emotional intelligence transforms your relationships, your career, your health, your body, your well-being, and the number one mistake that can block you to a path and a life you love. So let me repeat and define for you exactly what emotional intelligence is. And it is your ability to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions, and to recognize, understand, and positively influence the emotions of others. In short, we're calling it emotional mastery. And it's really about learning to discover, what are you feeling right now? What is it that is happening for you? And what is going on for you? What is the feeling that you have? Anastasia says, nice thing to call it. I guess she likes emotional mastery. Because the bottom line is, I remember one of my mentors said, and it left such an impact on me. And he said, it's not never getting upset or getting triggered or reacting, but how quickly you can come back to center. And that's really what we want to remember. We want to support you all in remembering. How quickly can you come back to center and re-regulate and manage your emotions? And know that when you are in alignment and when you're managing your emotions and when you're feeling inspired and empowered, you become an inspiration for other people. People want to be around you. People are attracted to people where they feel they're being acknowledged, or or you feel like, when you feel someone, think about it in your own life. Think about what happens for you when you meet someone that really inspires you and empowers you. And don't you want to be around them even more? Don't you feel like you gravitate towards them? And it's, oh, yes, I want to connect with that person, or I want to be around them, or I want to hear what they have to say. And I am hoping that I can be that for you, because that's what my intention for this show is, to help you to all live an inspired and empowered life, and to create that life so that you, those of you who want to grow your business, create the business, that you can do that and be able to create not only a thriving, inspiring life, but a thriving, inspiring business. And we have Mickey Mickey says, managing is the issue at times. Mickey, I totally get it. And you're right. You know what? Managing the emotions. And here's the thing. Being human, you're going to get triggered. Okay? It's just a fact of life. And when I say triggered, what I mean is you're reacting. You're reacting to some kind of stimuli, and it could be another person. It could be something that's going on in your life. It could be external, or it could be internal. And when you have that, and it's being able, and we talked about this last week, and we're going to go further into it. It's being able to have the awareness. Now, I created 3 A's. 3 A's that will help you to remember emotional intelligence. So, the first A is that energy of awareness. Okay, so you want to become aware of what you're feeling. You want to become aware of what's going on for you. And I know, and Misty, I see that you said it helps if you know yourself better. And it's true. If you know yourself better, you know what's going to trigger you and what's not. And you also know what you need to do to manage your emotions. But I also want you all to remember that we're all works in progress. So wherever you are at in your journey, it's all okay. But starting with that energy of awareness is really crucial. So you can remember these A's. Awareness. Become aware what it is you're feeling. And that question, what am I feeling right now? How do I feel right now? So those are 2 different ways to ask that a question. And when you have the awareness of what you're feeling, then you can take action on it. But what happens is you may have issues from your past, and it may be limiting beliefs or emotions that need to be cleared, or that created that trigger. And so it's going to be really important for you to get in touch with the awareness, and then acknowledge. That's the second A. Is awareness is the first A, and second A is acknowledge. And it's learning to acknowledge what you're feeling, whatever it is you're feeling. Sweeping it under the rug or denying that you're feeling it is not going to help you. It actually makes things worse. And so it's learning to acknowledge whatever it is. And so here's the thing. You can't act on it and change it until you become aware of it and then acknowledge that it's a feeling that's happening. Now, I know that I've talked the feelings that you really want to gain emotional mastery over, the feelings that you really want to work on healing when they come up are the feelings of fear. How many fear? Yes, many of us are go in and out of fear. Or maybe it's anger or frustration. Maybe it's grief, or maybe it's guilt or shame. Now, even guilt or shame, you're like, ooh, who wants to feel that? But you can't heal it till you feel it. So it's really important to allow yourself to acknowledge whatever it is you're feeling, and then you can take action to help it to shift. So once you take the action to help it shift, it's and it's funny because as I'm talking to you about the A's, so then actually we really have 4 A's. I just added an A. So it's awareness, acknowledgement, it's taking an action so that you then clear it using tools. And we'll talk more about the tools. I know last time we met, Anastasia had asked for the breathing technique. So we were working on the breathing, but learning how to clear it so you can use your breath to clear it. You can journal it out. You can exercise it out. You want to make sure that you're releasing the feeling. And when you move the energy, emotion is energy that wants to move, energy in motion. Hence the name emotion. So you want to move your body and you want to move the energy through your body. And when you move the energy through your body, it will help you to release it and let it go. And so it's really important to do those steps. And then once you take some type of action, the next step, and this may be the actual, if you're processing through and going through all the A's, hopefully this isn't challenging, but it could be challenging. It's learning to have acceptance and compassion for yourself. Now, sometimes having acceptance and compassion for yourself can be challenging. And what I want you to know is part of emotional mastery and emotional intelligence is learning to love yourself more. It's learning to accept who you are and how you are and have compassion for wherever you are in the journey. Now, it doesn't mean that you are, it doesn't mean that you can continue to work towards change, but it's being accepting with where you are right now. And I'll give you an example. So Louise is a client that I have. And Louise, and it's a pseudo name because I always want to make sure that clients are staying anonymous. And Louise has challenges with anxiety. And so she gets really upset with herself. In fact, it's not just Louise. I have a few clients that get really anxious and they get really upset at themselves for having anxiety. And what I want to remind you is that anxiety is actually a protective reaction to stress. And that you developed anxiety to protect yourself and take care of yourself. And it was one of the ways that you survived in your family, in your life. And so when I work with Louise, I always remind her how far she's come and how much she has overcome already. Because she was very anxious in a lot of different ways. But as we've worked together, she's overcome and healed a lot of that. And she's moving forward and she's continuing to shift and heal. And what I want to, and what I've supported her in is being accepting for where she is right now and having compassion. Because those parts of you, and this is something for all of you, no matter where, what feeling is coming up. The question you may want to ask yourself is, what part of me is feeling fear or anxiety? What part of me is feeling angry or resentful or frustrated? What part of me is feeling the grief? Or what part of me is feeling guilty? What part of me feels ashamed? Now, very often you will notice, even though it may feel like it's happening in present time, it's really not. And I'm going to do my Psych 101, so we're all on the same page. So your conscious mind brought you here to right here, right now. Thank you, conscious mind. And your conscious mind is what empowers you. When you make conscious decisions, it empowers you. It's your conscious mind is what helps you to manage your emotional states. So so if we go through the A's, when you learn to become aware of something that you're feeling, you've become conscious. Your conscious mind has made you aware. And then you acknowledge, and it could be your conscious mind or your superconscious mind that helps with the acknowledgement. And your superconscious mind is the part of you, that higher self, your wise, unconditionally loving part of you, and your soul. And your soul is the light and the love of who you really are. And so your conscious and your superconscious mind can be working together to help you have the awareness, take an action, and acknowledge, and then come to acceptance and compassion. Now, your subconscious mind is the part of you from the moment you were conceived to present time that has recorded every moment that you have been alive. And your subconscious mind also includes past life memories and trauma and limiting beliefs and emotions that could be affecting you now. And it also could be ancestral trauma, emotions, limiting beliefs that could be affecting you now. And all of that energy is in your subconscious mind. So when you're in reaction and you're noticing, oh, I'm feeling fear, or I'm feeling angry or frustrated or shame or guilt or grief or whatever it is, it's about noticing and asking what part of you. Now, If and when I'm talking about grief, grief is an emotion that you need to process through. If you've had any kind of loss, you're going to want to move through grief. For you to say, "Oh, I should just get over it." And I do feel like grief is one of those emotions that comes in waves. And it's different than depression. So if you notice you're in grief now and you haven't had a current loss, and that loss can be someone that you loved, a deceased loved one, it could be a job, it could be a relationship that has ended in some way, whether it be a romantic or a friendship. There are losses of many kinds. And the feelings of grief may last for a long time, or they may move, you may move through, because even grief itself has stages of emotions. And and so it's being able to honor, to accept, and have compassion for where you are. And so with the case of Louise, what has happened as we work together, she started having more compassion for herself when she has the anxiety. And that anxiety usually has come from past trauma, from when she was younger. So when you ask what part of me is feeling this, even though it feels like it's present time, it very may well be your past, the child part of you. Usually it's the child part. I mean, you may have hello, I'm back. Oh boy. Well, I will tell you, I don't know what's going on, lots of internet technical issues, but we are back. So, as I was saying, it's connecting with the parts of you that may be feeling those feelings. And even though it may feel like it's happening in current time, more than likely it's something in your subconscious mind that's giving you a message. That's giving you a message so that you can heal it. I really believe that when we become aware of our emotions, it's our opportunity to heal and to feel, or in this case, to feel and heal. so that you can move forward in your life and in your business. And so those were the A's again. And remember, I added one. You saw this live. I added an extra A. I like threes, but you know what? In this case, it's four. And I can probably come up with five, but I don't know what the fifth one is yet. So stay tuned. All right. When I come back, I'll let you know what the fifth one is. Because I like threes and fives. Don't ask me why, but it energetically, it's whatever. So, but today we came up with four. So we have awareness, acknowledgement, and then we have action. So awareness is becoming aware, acknowledging the feeling. Action is making the decision to do something on the feeling, like to move through it, work through it, heal it, shift it. And then you want acceptance and compassion. And I'm getting, and that is a all-encompassing snapshot. So that's the A's, principle. All right. Now, so let's talk more about what kind of things you can do to come back to help you manage. And I know we had, listen, managing your emotions and having what they call, because part of emotional intelligence is learning emotional regulation. Emotional regulation, what that means is being able to bring your emotions back, to bring yourself back into alignment, to be able to regulate your emotions, to manage them is another word. And learning how to do that can be quite a challenge. And I'm just going to let you know, I will share me a little bit more. So you get some, listen, you for those of you who know me, you know I'm passionate and I love inspiring and empowering you all. And I have a big heart and I want to share information. And that passion and that I am very emotional. In fact, when I was younger, my father said, "Oh, you're so emotional. You're just like your mother." And that was a bad connotation. But what I want you to know is being emotional is not wrong and it's not bad because it's part of what makes me who I am. It's that ability to be able to channel that emotion into passion, into creativity, to make changes in my life and in yours. And I had to work really hard and I still work on it because I got the message my emotions were too much. And so, yes, I work on emotional regulation, emotional mastery, emotional management. And sometimes it's much easier than others, and sometimes it's much more challenging. So, I'm going to share with you when it becomes more challenging for me, and more than likely, probably for you, and when it's easier. Okay. So, when it's no, let's go with challenging first. When it's challenging, it's when I feel stuck in my past trauma. It's when I feel stuck in the emotions of fear or anxiety. Or it's when I feel stuck in anger or frustration. But So I become aware that I'm having a feeling, and I acknowledge the feeling, or I acknowledge where I'm at in the moment. And then I make a decision. And this is where your conscious mind comes in. I make a conscious decision to take an action. So, what tool can I use to be able to clear the emotion or move through it? Now, it may be moving through my body. It may be, we talked about in the past, we talked about breathing and we talked about journaling. Or maybe it's exercising it out or walking it out, going out in nature. Or maybe it's dancing it out or listening to music to help you either move it out or breathe it out, relaxing music. Because I talked about this before, it changes your state. So, all of that are ways that you can shift the emotional state, your emotional state. So I take action on it. And then I can come to more acceptance and compassion for where I'm at. And I'll give you another example. So I have an event that I'm doing this week. And last week, I had a lot of emotions coming up about this event. And every single day, I needed to do my work. And it wasn't always alone. I will tell you that it's really helpful, really important to have supportive people that you can call upon or go to help you move through the emotions. And if you don't have supportive people, I'm going to support you in getting supportive people. And maybe you need a coach. Or if you're stuck and there's a lot of trauma, you need a therapist to help you move through the emotions, to help you shift. And so I had a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of emotions, and I worked through those emotions. And then this week, when the time came, Tuesday was the first night. And you know what? I was noticing I feel calm. I feel centered. I feel excited about it. And so, what I want to share with you is that I was able to process through the emotions and accept where I was at. So, when the old stuff comes up, and believe me, I had fears from the child part of me. I had issues about not feeling like I was trusting myself, trusting God that it was all going to work out. And usually that comes from trauma anyway. But I worked through it and I came to a place of, all right, God's got me. I'm being taken care of. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. I came to that acceptance. And what happened, now I feel really positive and really good about the event. And whatever it is, that acceptance. Now, I said, how do you do it when is it easier? So it's easier to get back into that emotional state the more connected you are to your superconscious mind, that higher self part of you, your soul, more connected to who you really are. When you're in that state of connection or alignment, it's easier to move through the feelings. Now, sometimes, a lot of times, you may have to move through the feelings in order to get back to the alignment. But if you are able in the morning to come to an easier state of alignment, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's inspirational reading, maybe it's listening to the music, whatever helps you to get back to this center, back to the alignment. Emotional mastery becomes easier because you're actually in the place of yourself as the master, as the being, the amazing being that you are, your soul, your higher self, the wise one in you. That's what I want to support you all in remembering. And so we will continue next week for part 3, because there is more in emotional intelligence, emotional mastery, emotional regulation, and management. So stay tuned for more inspired and empowered living next week, part 3 and of emotional intelligence. And I wish you all an inspired and empowered day, an inspired and empowered week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye for now.